Man, just an incredible win. I told the guys just all three phases was just an incredible team effort. These guys have been through it. I told the staff, the coaches, the players, just the fortitude that they presented and the way they played today. They laid it all out there today, and I just could not be more appreciative of those guys and the way they played. You think about the last two plays. I mean, Bobby make a break up, Gilly makes one. It's just, I'm not sure there's a storybook ending any better for the first game. So, heck of a win. Obviously, it's one win. We want to stack a lot of wins, but you can't start a stack until you get the first one. So, really proud of the guys and excited about the way they played. So we'll go from there.
Jeff, you made it clear during the week that you couldn't do this by yourself.
Oh.
Can you kind of give us a sense of how it worked this week and just how everybody poured themselves into it?
Yeah, no, so, it'll be the same as last week. Once we met and we assigned roles, there won't be any changes. We're still down, two coaches from an offensive standpoint. So we'll all get in there together and grind it the best we can. I thought they did an incredible job putting the plan together. I thought Parks did an excellent job organizing, making sure his thoughts, ideas, and then everybody contributed where they felt like we could take advantage, where they felt like we could make plays and explosive plays in particular. And it just happened to turn out that way, right? I mean, we had guys who really stepped up and made plays. Matt, with his, I think it was his career longest run. Lightning, right? We're going to start the zone read with Matt from now on. I mean, from that kind of thing. But obviously, man, and let me say, just everybody from offense, defense, and Bubba, obviously on special teams. These guys, they rallied, and it's a special moment for all of those guys, and I tip my hat to all of them. It's an honor to be a part of it.
Jeff, first off, congratulations on 1-0.
Thank you.
It had to be a heck of a week. When you took the job Monday night, you said Sam's the starter. Obviously, that changed. What went into that process, and why'd you go back to Matt?
Yeah, I saw Matt throw. And that was the first time I had seen him throw. He's coming off an injury, and he put a good practice together on Thursday. And so Friday, I told him, I was like, go back to back. And again, now this is my first experience really ever seeing him throw, and he looked really good. And I wanted to talk to the staff on Friday afternoon, but I knew what I was going to do. And but those, and I knew everybody was with it. And I felt like Matt gave us the best chance to win, and I had the conversation with Sam, who is a true pro, and I have so much respect for that young man and the way that he's conducted himself and the type of teammate he is, and Nick. I mean that room is tight, and they take care of each other and they guard each other, and as soon as I talked to Sam, he was right in the role that Matt had been for him, helping and discussion. And actually, when offensive plays are being run, a lot of times I keep those guys back there with me, going through progressions with them. So, but I felt like Matt, and I wanted to make sure he was in the right space to do it. He wanted all of it. Let's go, let it rip.
Did you think that the Colts should have gone to Sam in the first place?
Did I think? Well, I mean, bro, I haven't watched nearly enough specific Colts to give you anything on that.
Jeff, from a personal standpoint, what was this day like for you from the moment you woke up to right now, adrenaline-wise? What was this like for you today?
Yeah, it would have been interesting to just have a heart monitor on me. It was fantastic. I woke up, spoke to my wife early, a lot of prayer. Did church on the phone, and watched my normal church back home. Talked to my son and my wife, and then had a lot of text of just encouragement, prayer, thoughts, all those things, and so grateful for that. All the boys sending text chains, and go get it, and Edge sent me a text, and he's I'm here, and it was just it was magical in all honesty. In truth, I felt very at peace. I felt like we had a really good plan in place. I felt like all the men who I had talked about empowering and giving them the ability to do what they can do exceptionally well, they all stepped up. And so I knew what my role was, and I was going to execute my role to the best of my ability, and I was going to allow all of those men to do the same. And they stepped up, man, and it's an incredible day. And again, it's one win, but heck, man, they're hard to get in this NFL. So just really proud of each and every one of them in their effort.
Jeff, what did you learn over the last 6 days about the compete level of players, coaches, just the organization to get this game to where it was?
Yeah, I mean, look, I love it. I love the heart of the team, and I told him that, and Frank and I had talked about that. Like I love the heart of this football team. These guys work hard. There is no back down in them, and this is a very, very tough week for these guys. The relationship they have with Frank, and it's hard in all these circumstances. But those guys, man, from Wednesday on, I'm telling you, Friday's practice was popping, and it was, the guys were rolling, they were flying around, and I had a really good feeling. Wednesday was good, Thursday was good, Friday really set it apart, and it just shows you. I mean, the fatigue on these guys has to be insane. I mean, just insane, right? From the emotional fatigue, the physical fatigue of where we are in the season, all of those things. I just kept telling them, man, just keep pushing through. And I said, it's going to come down to the last play. It always does in the NFL, and who goes hardest the longest ultimately wins, and we made a couple plays there at the end that were spectacular.
Parks Frazier calls his first game. Obviously, things did not go as planned. You got fumbles in there. In the last drive, you had a fumble on it, but you end up scoring. Can you speak to maybe his resolve and what you hear from him when he's deciding, how to win the game?
Yeah, no, there was one conversation on the play on a third down that we didn't convert, and then we missed the field goal. And Parks, he was like, man, maybe. And I said, Parks called an incredible game. I mean, up to that point, I was like, you don't back down a bit, bud. Like every call he called a fantastic football game. Found balance, understood what the needs of the team were at the moment. And to your point, we fumbled it one time that gave them a touchdown, and we missed a field goal and they score on it. But when you think about the plays that were there to be made, they were there to be made. And so that's all you can do from a coaching perspective is put it in the players' hands, allow them to execute. And those guys executed, really, really, really well. Can't turn it over. Can't miss field goals, right? Like all the things that we'll go over, the details of the game that we'll have to get better on. It was by no means perfect, but it was good enough to win today, and we're going to take it and grow from it. I gave one to everybody. I did. I gave one to everybody. That's the way it should have been. It was a complete team effort. Like I said, coaches, players, everybody.
Jeff, it's been a whirlwind and a lot of firsts. Your first time walking in a locker room as a head coach. You look at those guys. What was the emotion, and what did you say to them?
The emotion was high. I mean, I've lived in a locker room. I mean, listen, so my relationship with those guys every day is very familiar for me. So when I walk in, the most unfamiliar I am is when I'm in with the staff or whatever things like yesterday getting to the hotel. It's all the logistics that are abnormal for me. But everything else, when I get anywhere near the field, the grass, the locker room, that's like, oh, it's just a relief, right? I mean, that's the area I want to be in. But it's again, it's been a pleasure to work with these guys, and I know there are going to be a lot of happy guys on that plane, a lot of guys sleeping, rest assured.
Obviously, this was a chaotic week on everybody, and players talked about how it stressed them as leaders to kind of step up.
For sure.
So, what did you see out of Matt Ryan in that level, just as a guy who was in the middle of it and then ended up being the starting quarterback?
Stud, man. I mean, listen, he met every challenge, every conversation. Those guys, they were the true leaders. Like the team was. And I said this in my first meeting with those guys. This has to be a player-led football team. I played on player-led football teams. I understand the value of player-led football teams, and that's what this has to be. And I told those guys, take ownership. Everything is about you guys. Everything that we do in this organization is about you and making you the best player you can be. But you have to take a hold of this thing, and they did it, man, and did it to a degree that I was very impressed with. And again, short week, right? I mean, it's not, but the way they stepped up was powerful. And like I told them this, it's NFL, right? Got to sustain it now. Got one, got to sustain the next one. So let's go at it.